Hello, everyone. I'm going to read to y'all Jack and the Beanstalk. Give me a second. I'm trying to. Alrighty. Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh, this is the Roses, 1722. There was there was once upon a time a poor widow who had an only son named Jack and a cow named Milky White, and all they had to live on was the milk the cow gave every morning, which they carried to the market and sold. But one morning Milky White gave no milk, and they didn't know what to do. "What shall we do? What shall we do?" said the widow, wringing her hands. "Cheer up, mother. I'll get work somewhere," said Jack. "You We have tried that before, and nobody would take you," said his mother. "We must sell Milky White, and with the money start shop or something." "All right, mother," says Jack. "It's a market day today, and I'll soon sell Milky White, and then we'll see what we can do." So he took the cow's halter in his hand, and off he started. He hadn't gone far when he met a funny-looking old man who said to him, "Good morning, Jack." "Good morning to you," said Jack, and wondered how he knew his name. "Well, Jack, and where are you off to?" said the man. "I'm going to the market to sell our cow here." "Oh, you look the proper sort of chap to sell cows," said the man. "I wonder if you know how many beans make 5. 2 in each hand and 1 in your mouth," says Jack, as sharp as a needle. That was cute. "Right you are," said the man. "And here they are, the very beans himself," he went on, pulling out of his pocket a number of strange looking beans. "As you're sharp," he says, "I don't mind doing a swap with your cow for these beans." "Go along," says Jack. "Wouldn't you like it?" "Ah, you don't know what these beans are," said the man. "If you plant them overnight, by morning they grow right up to the sky." "Really?" said Jack. "You don't say so." "Yes, that is so. And if it doesn't turn out to be true, you can have, your cow back." "Right," says Jack, and hands him over Milky White's halter and pockets the beans. Back goes Jack home, and he hadn't gone very far. It wasn't dusk by the time he got to his door. "Back already, Jack?" said his mother. "I see you haven't got Milky White, so you've sold her? How much did you get for her?" "You'll never guess, mother," says Jack. "No, you don't say so, good boy. £5? 10? 15? No, it can't be 20. I told you you couldn't guess. Why do you say to these beans? What do you say to these beans? They're magical. Plant them overnight and—" "What?" said Jack's mother. "Have you been such a fool, such a dolt, such an idiot, as to give away my Milky White? The best the best milker in the parish, and prime beef to boot, for a set of pantry beans? Take that, take that, take that. And as for your precious beans, there they go out the window, and now off with you to bed. Not a sup shall you drink. and not a bit shall you swallow this very night." So Jack went upstairs in his little room in the attic, and sad and sorry he was, to be sure, as much as his mother's sake as for the loss of his supper. At last he dropped off to sleep. When he woke up, the room looked so funny. The sun was shining into part of it, and yet all the rest were quite dark and shady. So Jack jumped up and dressed himself and went to the window. And what do you think he saw? Why, the beans his mother had thrown out the window into the garden had sprung up into a big beanstalk, which went up and up and up till it reached the sky. So the man spoke truth after all. Truth after all. The beanstalk grew up quite close past Jack's window. So all he had to do was to open it and give it a jump on to the beanstalk, which ran up just like a big ladder. So Jack climbed and he 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 climbed till at last he reached the sky. And when he got there, he found a long, broad road going as straight as dart. So he walked along. As he walked along and walked along till he came to a great big tall house, and on the doorsteps there was a great big tall woman. "Good morning, Mum," says Jack, quite polite like. "Could you be so kind as to give me some breakfast?" For he hadn't had anything to eat, the night before, and was as hungry as a hunter. "It's breakfast you want, it is," says the great big tall woman. "It's breakfast you'll be, if you don't move off from here. My man is a org, and there's nothing he likes better than boys broiled on toast. You'd better be moving on, or he'll soon be coming." So far we got this picture. And this picture. "Oh, please, Mom, do you give me something to eat, Mom? I've had nothing to eat since yesterday morning." "Really and truly, Mom," says Jack, "I may as well be boiled and as die of hunger." Well, the orc's wife was not half so bad after all, so she took Jack into the kitchen and gave him a chunk of bread and cheese and a jug of milk. But Jack hadn't half finished these when thump, 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 the whole house began to tremble with the noise of someone coming. Wonder who's coming. "Goodness gracious me, it's my old man," said the org's wife. "What on earth shall I do?" "Come along, quick, and jump in here," she says. Hi, welcome in those that are watching. If you don't mind, please hit that like button if you're enjoying these stories. "Goodness gracious me, it's my old man," said the org's wife. I read that. "What on earth shall I do? Come along quick and jump in here." And she bundled Jack into the oven just as the org came in. He was a big one, to be sure. At his belt he had 3 calves strung up by the heels, and he unhooked them and threw them down on the table and said, Here, wife, boil me a couple of these for breakfast. Ah, what's this I smell? Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Hi, welcome in. Be he alive or he dead. I'll have his bones to grind my bread. Nonsense, dear, said his wife. You're dreaming. Or perhaps you smelled the scraps of the little boy you liked so much for yesterday's dinner. Here you go. You have a wash and a tidy up, and by the time you come back, your your breakfast'll be ready for you. So off the org went, and Jack was just going to jump out of the oven and run away when the women told him not. Wait till he's asleep, says he. He always has a doze after breakfast. Well, the org had his breakfast, and after that he goes to a big chest and takes out of a couple of bags of gold. And down he sits and counts, till at last his head began to nod and he began to snore till the whole house shook again. Then Jack crept out on tippy-toe from his oven. As he was passing the org, he took one of his bags of gold under his arm, and off he peddlers till he came to the beanstalk. And then he threw down the bag of gold, which of course fell into his mother's garden, and then he climbed down till at last he got home and told his mother and showed her the gold and said, well, mother, wasn't I about the beans? Wasn't I right about the beans? Well, mother, wasn't I right about the beans? They are really magical, you see. So they lived on the bag of gold for some time, but at last they came to the end of it. And Jack made up his mind to try his luck once more at the top of the beanstalk. So one fine morning he rose up early, got on to the beanstalk, and he climbed and climbed and climbed and he climbed and climbed and climbed and he climbed till and he climbed till at last he came out onto the road again and up the great big tall house he had been to before. There was sure enough was a great big tall woman standing at the doorstep. Good morning, Mom, says Jack, as bold as brass, as you could be so good as to give me something to eat. Go away, my boy, said the tall woman, or else my man will eat you up for breakfast. Oh my goodness, but aren't you the youngster who came here once before? Do you know that very day my man missed one of his bags of gold? Uh-oh. Hi, welcome in. That's strange, Mom, says Jack. I dare say I could tell you something about that, but I'm so hungry I can't speak till I've had something to eat. Are you watching Daniel? You watching Daniel? Oh, you're watching Peppa Pig. Well, the big tall woman was so curious. She took him. Oh, here's this picture. You playing the game? Look, there you go.
Choose a slaughter to use. Are you ready to go to the field? Peppa and her friends really love to play on the boat. cars. Can you help Emma steer the car and bump into her friends? Choose one of the games. Use your finger to
The big
Geordie's bumper. Bump the car that you see at the top of the screen. Bump car number 3.
look, you gotta bump this. Look, go boop like that. Now that one's gotta bump that one. That one. There we go. All right.
Bump car number 3.
Well, the big tall woman was so curious, she took him in and gave him something to eat. But he had scarcely begun munching it as slowly as he could when thump, 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 they heard the giant's footsteps, and his wife hid Jack away in the oven. All happened as it did before. In came the org as he did before, said fee, fi, fo, filly, fi, foam,
Bump car number 3.
and he had his breakfast off 3 broiled oxen. When he said, "Wife, bring me the hen that lays a golden egg," so he brought, and the org said, it laid an egg all of gold, and then the org began to nod his head off to snore till the house shook. Then Jack crept out of the oven on tippy-toed and caught hold of the golden hen. Then Jack crept out of okay, I said that. Okay. Then Jack crept out of the oven on tippy-toe and caught hold of the golden hen, and was off before you could say Jack Robertson. But this time he had the hen gave a crackle, which woke the org, and just as Jack got out the house, he heard him calling, "Wife, wife, what have you done with my golden hen?" And the wife said, "Why, my dear?" But that was all Jack heard, for he rushed off to the beanstalk and climbed down like a house on fire. And when he got home, he showed his mother the wonderful hen and said, "Lay it to it." And it laid a golden egg every time he said lay. Wow. Every time. Wow. Well, Jack was not content, and it wasn't very long before he determined to. Okay, give me 1 second, Bill. Give me a 1 second, Bill. Finish story. Watch you want milk every 2 seconds. It's okay. It's okay, little baby. Just make sure I'm not trying to show you nothing. There we go. Hi, those are watching. Lay it to it, and it laid a golden egg every time he said lay. Well, Jack was not content, and it wasn't very long before he determined to have another try at his luck up there at the top of the beanstalk. So one fine morning he rose up early and got onto the beanstalk, and he climbed and he climbed and he climbed and climbed till he got at the top. But this time he knew better than to go straight to the org's house. And when he got near, he waited behind a bush till he saw the org's wife come out with a pail to get some water, and then he crept into the house and got into the copper. He hadn't been there long when he heard thump, thump, thump as before, and he came to the org, and he came in the org and his wife. "Filly fi fo, filly fi fo. I smell the blood of an Englishman," cried up the org. "I smell him, wife, I smell him." "Do you, my dear?" says the org's wife. Then if it's that little rogue that stole your gold and the hen that laid the golden eggs, he sure to have got into the oven. They both rushed to the oven, but Jack wasn't there. Luckily, and the org's wife said, "There you go again with your Philly 5 phone. Why, of course, it's a boy you caught last night that I've just boiled for your breakfast. How forgetful am I? And how careless you are not to know the difference between live and dead after all these years." So the org sat down to the breakfast and ate, but every now and then he would mutter, "Well, I could have sworn," but he'd get up and search the ladder and the cupboards and everything. Only luckily he didn't think of the copper. Hello, thanks for watching. After breakfast was over, the org called out, Wife, bring me my golden harp." So he brought it and put it on the table before him. Then he said, "Sing." And the golden harp sang most beautifully and went on singing till the org fell asleep and commenced to snore like thunder. There's him sitting at the table, I guess. And him running away with the little hen. Then Jack lifted up the copper lid very quietly and got down like a mouse and crept on hands and knees till he came to the table, where he crawled, caught hold of the golden harp and dashed with it towards the door. But the harp called out loud, "Master, master!" And the Lord woke up just in time to see Jack running off with his harp. Okay, that's enough. We're not doing that. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the org came rushing after. Come on, can you get still, please? Thank you. Okay, I don't want to keep hearing this thing go up. That's annoying. Okay, Bill, stop, please. Okay. Golden harp and dash with it towards the door, but okay, master. And the org woke up just in time to see Jack run off with the harp. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the org came rushing after, and soon have caught him. Only Jack had a start of dodge him a bit and knew where he was going. When he got to the beanstalk, the org was not more than 20. Come on, Bella, you can't. Come on, you can't do that, babe. Come on now, because you're going to rip in my book. Keep doing that, and then I'll be very upset. Goodness, get still somewhere. All right. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the org rushing after him could soon have caught him. Only Jack had a start and dodged him. Here, I'll put this back on since you touched the news to cancel. Are you sure? Are you ready to go to the thing up and have some fun? You okay, Bella? Here, Bella, come down here, please. Okay, there you go. There you go. Say thank you, Mom. It sounded like you said thanks. You're welcome. Okay. To Beanstalk, the org was not more than 20 yards away when suddenly he saw Jack disappear. Like when he came to the end of the road, he saw Jack underneath, climbing down for dear life. Well, the org didn't like trusting himself to such a ladder as he stood and waited. So Jack got another start, but just then the harp cried out, "Master, master!" and the org swung himself down onto the beanstalk, which shook with his weight. Down climbed Jack, and after him climbed the org. By this time, Jack had climbed down and climbed down and climbed down and climbed down till it was nearly home. So he called out, "Mother, mother, bring an axe. Bring me an axe." His mother came rushing out with the axe in her hand. But when she saw, but when she came to a beanstalk, she stopped still with fright, for there she saw the orc with his legs just through the clouds. But Jack jumped down and got a hold of the axe and gave a chop to the beanstalk, which in half, cut it in half, or cut it in two. Half in two is what it says. The orc felt the beanstalk shake and quiver, so he stopped to see what was the matter. Then Jack gave another chop with the axe, and the beanstalk was cut in two and began to topple over. Then the orc fell down and broke his crown, and the beanstalk came toppling after. Then Jack showed his mother his golden heart, what what with showing that selling the golden eggs, Jack and his mother became very rich, and he married a great princess, and they lived happily ever after. Well, that's a wild story. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. That was the picture for that. If you don't mind watching the ads, it helps very greatly. Alrighty, we are probably going to okay, we got a bunch of little short stories, but like we always do, we're going to end the live, start another one. And thank you all for watching. Appreciate all you do. I've taken the time to come watch with us. This is the Roses, 1722. Hope you have a good day, good night, whichever you are, and you're amazing. Starting live number 3.